Good day, Inderes TV viewers, and welcome to the Health Technology and Pharmaceutical Developer Night. We have today for you 6 excellent presentations from life science companies. Each presentation is followed by Q&A session, so please send your questions via the chat function. My name is Antti Siltanen. I'm a life science analyst at Inderes, and I will kick the evening off with a short presentation. So what does the life science company landscape look like in Finland? There are a couple of pharmaceutical and pharmaceutical development companies. So from drug development, we have both listed companies, Faran Pharmaceuticals and Herantis Pharma, today with us giving a presentation. From a more mature pharmaceutical company, we have Orion, and then Nanopharm, who uses their technology to make new drug formulations. The health technology sector is a slightly larger one. From digital pathology, we will have tonight a presentation from Aiforia Technologies. From orthopedics or from the field fixing bone defects and soft tissue injuries, we have bioactive bone substitutes or BBS and Bioretec. From ophthalmology area or eye medicine, we have presentation from Optomed, and Revenio is another listed company. Nextim is a company that makes instruments for transcranial magnetic stimulation. Modulite is a company who's making biomedical lasers, and BioHit a diagnostics company. Nightingale Health makes blood tests and services related to those. If we look at the big picture of these approximately dozen life science companies, we find that these are primarily small companies. By market cap, there are only 3 companies that are worth more than 100 million euros. And by revenue, there's actually only 1 company currently that has a revenue of over 100 million. So the profile in Finland is that of small companies. Then if we look at the Nordic landscape, we can find a little bit more different kinds of and different sizes of companies. So what does the life science company look like as an investment? There are a couple of characteristics of a life science company. They are typically commercializing innovations that are coming from the university sector. This sometimes means that people perceive the technologies as difficult to understand. But we at Inderes believe that it's possible for every investor to understand the investment case also in these companies, and we are working to explain this to the investors. Point number 2 is, I think, very critical. These are companies that are strongly regulated by society. That means that the research and development phase typically takes 10 to 15 years, and before companies can start selling their product, they typically need market authorization. The market is typically large, global, and it's sometimes conservative. And conservative here means that even though if the product is really good, it may take several years for the sales to really pick up. And young companies are actually quite different from more mature companies. Young companies typically have a high potential. They have an intriguing investment story behind them. The risk level is relatively high, and they're typically unprofitable. And then if we look at more mature companies, they actually look quite different. They are typically very defensive and also highly profitable. So what explains this difference between young and older or more mature companies? We think that from a perspective of young companies, there are barriers to market in this area. There is, for example, R&D risk. If a drug development company gets bad results in terms of the drug safety, for example, the whole project may be shut down and the development is discontinued. Also, these companies, as mentioned, they need market authorization, which may take a long time before the sales can actually begin. There are funding risks because before selling the product, these companies have to show really carefully that the products are safe and effective. So they need large amounts of capital beforehand to carry out the long R&D projects. And as I mentioned, the markets are also conservative, so even for a good product, the sales uptake may take a long time. But then, in the end, For more mature companies and from their perspective, these barriers to market become actually moats. And if we look at global biotech companies, their EBIT is about 30%, so they're incredibly profitable companies. So looking at the very big picture, the trend that is in the market that is really defining most companies is that the population is aging, and this is creating the need for better, more safe treatments and technology solutions. Another main or big trend is that the public sector is a financer of these treatments wholly or partly, and this brings some stability to the markets. But it also creates a situation where the product really has to be value adding, whether it's a new drug or new health technology. If we look at two areas of the market, pharmaceutical industry is a huge market. It's about this year projected to be about $1,100 billion, and it's foreseen to grow about 5% per year for the next 5 years. Medical technology, which is a subset of health technology, is even a bigger area. So currently the market size is about 1,200 billion euros and also projected to grow about 5% annually. The companies in this sector are very different, so some actually have a opportunity for or their specific market grows much faster and sometimes a little bit slower, but this is the overall big picture. So finally, what are the hallmarks of a value-creating life science company into which we would all like to invest at an early stage preferentially? Firstly, they should have a value-adding product, value-adding both to the patient and for the healthcare sector. It would be great if they already had the market authorization and a strong IPR to protect from competition. Secondly, it's a benefit if the company can be first to the market in that sector where they operate. If they are not first to the market, they would need to have strong advantages either in terms of efficacy, safety, or cost savings to gain market share in the competitive environment and to gain competitive edge. Thirdly, financing is an issue for many companies, so it's very beneficial if the financing area is secured, and this enables the company to focus on taking care of its or realizing its growth strategy. And finally, sales and marketing capabilities are very important. Even though if the product is great, it also needs to be sold and marketed in a great way. Many companies take the opportunity to sort of outsource sales and marketing by making licensing deals where a larger company uses its resources and sales organizations to take these products into global markets. So thank you very much on my behalf, and let's move on to the first presentation.